You're listening to the Into the Woods podcast with your hosts, Dermot and Michael. Let's get into it.
Wonderful chase by Hinshaw.
Cox again. I cannot believe it. Dacos nearly runs out of room. He's goal. Jamie Elliott has won the game of footy for this famous club. Slap for Nick Dacos. He's going to be the hero. The little champ is going to pick the winner.
Here's the Degoe moment. He unloads. Bang! You need your stars. And Collingwood stars just went and wrenched the cup back.
If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. For Spotify and Apple listeners, a 5-star rating would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit the bell icon on any of those platforms to be notified as soon as new episodes are released. You can find us on X at Into the Woods Pod and on Instagram at Into the Woods Pod 10. Thanks for your ongoing support by helping the podcast grow. Go Pies! Welcome to Into the Woods. I'm your host Dermot, and for the next hour or so, we'll be talking about all things Collingwood. Once again, I'm joined by Michael. How are you, Mick?
And you wanted to take the captaincy off him. You campaigned to take the captaincy off him.
Who are we talking about?
Well, who else is captain of the side?
Well, before we get into our hot topics, let me just say, if you go back to our last panel show, which was only about 2 days ago, you and I and Oscar and Paige and Serge, we all gave our tip to who we think is going to be the most important player for us to win the premiership. And I believe I said Darcy Moore.
Yeah. Oh, well, who did I say?
Oh, probably someone that didn't play any. Who did you say?
Oh, I think I said Houston. Houston, but there you go. No, very well. Doing very well. Great win.
Oscar did say Jamie Elliott, so that was a good get as well.
Yeah.
I think both of Serge's didn't play.
Well, when you think of it, it was a stupid question to really to ask. Anyway, there's so many players you need to do well to win.
It was a stupid question because you didn't get it right.
Because I didn't get it right. Okay, and you're the sole arbiter of what's right and what's wrong.
Well, yeah. All right, I can't wait any longer. Let's get into all the hot topics.
We've listened to the wisdom of Sir Winston Churchill and the brilliance of genius Albert Einstein. In the 60s, we heard the great JFK. Now, all the great minds are talking footy.
All right.
Why are you wearing a football jumper? You're older than 16. You know there's that rule. The 16. If you're older than 16, unless you're playing footy, you shouldn't be wearing a jumper.
You know, why are you wearing it? Here we go. Put this on. There we go. Mick's finally got his first bit of Collingwood merch on for the year. Collingwood scarf. Looking good, mate. Up and about. Prelim bound the Pies.
Dermot Sir Brian Epstein of the Into the Woods podcast, about a month or two ago, we had a heated discussion on the phone. He wanted me to deck myself out in all this Collingwood paraphernalia, and I think he ended up hanging up on me because I wouldn't do it. Just as Epstein molded the Beatles into what we know them to be today.
Once again, you always exaggerate just a tad in these stories. I don't think I hung up on you. But, you're looking a lot better.
You actually did hang up on me last week, though.
I did last week,
That's right.
but not because of that. Right, all right. So, you want to know why we won last night? I'm going to get straight into this. You want to know why?
Oh, well, with a better side for the majority of the night. Oh.
Here they are.
Oh, the lucky West Coast Sox.
There they are. Let's put them out on the bench.
Don't repeat the story from last year. Believe me, listeners and viewers, you might be a little bit intrigued as to why he's putting West Coast Sox there. Believe me, you don't want to know the story.
I'm telling the story.
It's an awful. When didn't you tell me? Was it earlier this year you told me?
It was early last year.
Can you just tell them what episode it is and they can go and listen?
I can't remember. The story of the West Coast Sox. So
don't make it go on as long as last year.
So okay, I'll go real quick. Essentially, 2023 qualifying final against the D's. I'm walking to the G, pouring rain.
Bit of a nap.
Pouring rain. Got holes in my shoes. My socks are just drenched. Right, they're drenched. You can't sit down and be comfy for the whole night with wet socks. So once I get in the G, I go to the AFL store. I go up to the counter and ask if they have any Collingwood socks. I thought, well, I may as well buy some Collingwood socks. They looked in the computer and said, no, there's only one team that has socks, and that's the West Coast Eagles. And I'm thinking, oh, I hate West Coast. 2018 grand final was still fresh at that point. Are you alive? Michael's taking a nap. Anyway, she takes me over to the West Coast socks, and there's 3 different types. And she says,
I thought I was dreaming this West Coast sock story, but unfortunately I'm not.
and she says, which socks would you like out of the 3 different West Coast ones? And I said, I don't care. I'll never wear them again. You can pick, because they're all the same price. And she says, oh no, because...
Oh, can I interrupt for a second? What happens if he wears the...
No, shut up.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I'm building up. I'm
Right,
building up. I'm
okay.
building up.
All right, go.
She says, she says, no, this won't be the only time you wear them, because if Collingwood win, then they'll become your lucky socks, and you have to wear them at every game. Anyway, Collingwood go on to beat Melbourne in that qualifying final. I'm thinking, damn, this woman, she's got this in my head. So I wear them again for the prelim against GWS. Of course, we win. Wear them again grand final day. We win. These socks won us a premiership. Absolutely no doubt about it. I then rip them.
The socks won it.
I don't wear them every single week though. I don't want to push
Don't worry
it.
about Bobby Hill's heroics. The socks did it.
I don't want to wear them every week. I only want to bring them out on special occasions. I don't want to tempt fate. So last year, bad year, there was no real reason to wear them until Scott Pendlebury's 400th game. I went to that game and decided, you know what? I want to do it for Pendles. Put the lucky socks back on. We win. Anyway, last night, the first time I've done it at a game that I wasn't at, put them on in front of the couch. We win. 5 from 5. We wearing them again in the prelim.
Do you think we should repeat the sock story every week in case we get new listeners to the podcast?
No, but what we will do is we can place them in. When we continue to win, we can place them there for everyone to see. They're quite ugly, aren't they? Polka dot sort of socks. But anyway, let's get into the game. Or do you want to talk a little bit more about the socks?
Darcy Moore. Darcy Moore, best game in 3 years, maybe his best game ever. What he was doing last night, I think that made the difference. Well, it was similar in that he still had that colossal stuff up that he does every week. But putting that aside for one moment, he went for his marks. When was the last time he went for those marks?
No double fist.
No double fisting. Jeez, what a difference that makes. Just a change of attitude.
It's remarkable. The difference between his best and worst. When he's playing like that, like he did last night, by far the best defender in a competition, in my opinion. But when he's playing at his worst, which we saw in the last, say, 6 weeks of the home and away season, he's probably our worst defender.
Yeah.
That is the difference between his best and worst. And he was fucking outstanding last night. He was fucking outstanding.
I recounted a few weeks ago what McRae said at a press conference about he spoke to a couple of players. He didn't say who those players were, and they said when they're not confident, there's certain things they don't do. One guy said he doesn't tackle when he's not confident, and McRae said to him, "Well, tackle, just tackle." And the other guy, who I suspected at the time was Darcy Moore, suspect even more now, said, when I'm not confident, I don't go for my marks. And McRae said, well, go for your marks. And, and I think he was the one in question. And he went for his marks.
He did.
So maybe even when he's not confident, he should feign confidence by going for marks, was McRae's point.
Now, we'll talk about Darcy Moore a little bit more before we move on. But before we eventually get onto the other players, I just want to talk about the game first. But we'll continue with Moore.
Okay.
I want to go quarter by quarter after the Darcy Moore chat. But I was saying to you on the phone after the game last night that is Darcy Moore one of the more underrated finals performers at Collingwood? Because, we talk about all the same guys, De Goey, Pendlebury, Crisp. There's plenty of them, Sidebottom. But Darcy Moore's played some huge finals. Like I brought up, he played a huge qualifying final against Tom Hawkins, shut him down. He played a huge prelim on Jeremy Cameron 2019 when he was at the Giants, shut him down, but also was going for his marks that night and taking everything. Those finals aren't really remembered because we lost. But it wasn't because of Darcy Moore. He did everything he could. This is the first one where he absolutely starred in that we won. So now this will get talked about forever. But he's done it multiple times. He goes to another level in finals. I think 23. His qualifying final against Melbourne was underrated. His prelim and grand final, he's a little bit down. But like as a whole, since he's come into this team as a defender in 2019, his finals record has been very, very good. Like we talk shit about him a lot, but we need to give him some credit when he does this stuff like this.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Yeah, he's an underrated finals player. He's just like you said, his best and worst are just too far apart to be. I think to be considered a great of the game, his best and worst are too far up. I don't consider him to be a great of the game.
Can I put this to you then? So you think of De Goey as one of our great players because of his finals record. His home and away record is patchy, but Julian. Yeah. So why can't we say the same about Darcy Moore?
Because I think when you're an impact player like a De Goey, you can forgive them that because the flip side of playing poorly doesn't impact the side as much as the flip side of playing poorly as a key position player. As a key position player, backline player especially, you have to be kind of more consistent.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah. All right, let's go quarter by quarter before we start talking about more individuals. And man, that was just one of the famous victories. When you talk backs against the wall, going into state for finals, like we've seen it so many times in our time, but that one I reckon is going to stick out as number one. That was fucking incredible.
I don't think, not in my mind, I think the Port Adelaide, if you're going right back to 2002.
2002, yeah.
Yeah, Port Adelaide, we couldn't win that. We were never winning it. Like, it wasn't going to happen. Last night, we actually both tipped Collingwood.
We did, yeah, but we were heavy underdogs still.
Oh, still heavy underdogs.
It was just a gut feel.
But you're talking about what's number one. To me, the Port Adelaide victory was number one.
But if this sets up a premiership, then surely that goes above.
No, to me, finals wins, you take them in isolation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that first quarter, that was, I reckon, an arm wrestle. Couldn't really take a lot out of it. We started well. That goal from Nick Dacos in the first quarter was just incredible. And
should we recap on the sock stories in case people are tuning in late?
Oh.
They might be tuning in now, looking at the socks, thinking, "What the hell's going on?" I'd like to, give a bit of briefing.
What do you think of polka dots? Do you reckon that they suit me?
They were big in the 60s, polka dots. Bob Dylan used to always wear polka dot shirts back in the 60s.
First quarter, bit of an arm wrestle. There was some frustrating moments. Obviously, I just spoke about the Dacos goal. That was great. That we just spoke very highly of Darcy Moore, but that stuff up in the first quarter.
Oh, that was that worse than the Wizard Watson one?
Yeah, it was worse.
Do you reckon?
It was way worse, I reckon.
The Wizard Watson one looks like he did it on purpose.
I know, but this is incredible. And I was going off my head. I think I sent you that was the only abusive message you got from me all night. I was just going.
I was blessed.
Yeah. I said some pretty nasty words about Darcy Moore. And I thought after that, this guy's shot. He's shot. Normally when you see him stuff up early, like that Nick Watson one, he crumbles for the remainder of the game. But he fought back so well, which made his performance even more impressive in a way that he was able to come back from that. But you're thinking at that point, oh God, this is the guy that we're going to have to rely on against the best ball line in the comp.
Yeah, he just yeah. What can you say? That was just a shocker. I haven't actually watched it back yet. I kind of diverted my eyes when they replayed it on Fox. Jesus.
And
anyway, yeah.
And then not long after, Mychek gets a dodgy free kick, I'd say, and just misses the easiest of goals. And he had a dog of a night.
You can't miss. I don't believe any league footballer, forward, backman, or whoever, if they get an opportunity in front of goals like that, you can't miss them. You're a league footballer. You cannot miss those goals.
No.
I don't understand.
And you know what he ended up with for the night? Did you see this?
In terms of possessions or...
No, goals. More points, I should say. More.
3 points probably?
0 goals, 5.
0 goals, 5. That was the only sitter he had a couple of flying shots for goal, didn't he? Kind of... Yeah.
The positive about Mychek, and I said we weren't going to get into individual performances until after we recap the game, but I reckon we can with Mychek because there's not much else to say other than he had a dog of a night. There's a few people that are calling for his head, and even you kind of mentioned, do we bring back McStay?
No, I'm not.
It's just a no. Like Mychek, you got come prelim final day. Would you rather Mychek or McStay? Who are you going to trust more? And I guess the good news with Mychek is 0-5 is pretty bad, but at least he was getting involved. McStay, you can go unsighted for 3/4.
Well, my expertise in psychiatry is well documented on this podcast. I reckon that Keane has got into his head. He got into Mychek's head even before the bounce of the ball because he took him to the cleaners 3 weeks ago. Mychek looked preoccupied. He looked anxious the entire night because he probably just felt like he had to make up for 3 weeks ago, getting soundly beaten. I think it was affecting his performance.
Possibly, but he's also been pretty ordinary for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives me Jeremy McGovern vibes. Back in the 2018-19 season, we always put Mychek on McGovern, and he would just get destroyed. They were his worst games for us.
Yeah.
Except
was it the second semi when we put Main on him as a defensive forward in Perth? It worked beautifully.
Qualifying final.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then come the grand final a couple of weeks later, Buckley didn't
went back to
repeat it. Went back to Mychek, and guess who played really well? McGovern.
That was strange.
I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
But people, here's my theory on Mychek, and he's been a great servant for the club. I love him, and I would not be dropping the guy for the prelim or potential grand final. He's there he's there to the end of the year. But in terms of next year, he's looking for a bigger contract or more money. I'm now starting to see signs in the last couple of months that maybe this is the beginning of the end. And
how old is he?
Oh, he'd be 31 or 2 or something like that. He's one of the over 30s.
I knew he was bad, but I just wanted to know.
I just think that it could be best for both player and club if they part ways. Like Mychek can get a bit of security and a little bit more money in another club, extend his career, and we can kind of move on because we've got Membry there, who's a similar type. Obviously, McStay if he can find his form back, but we've also got Charlie West. Young key forward. He's coming into his second season, but you look at someone like a Logan Morris from Brisbane. He's in his second season, so it can click quicker for these young key forwards than back in the day when it used to take them 5 years. We've also got Noah Howes that could be in a similar boat to Charlie West.
Yep.
We've got options, and having someone like a Mychek lining up week in, week out, it might just hurt the development of West and Noah Howes, who could probably at worst put out similar types of performances to Mychek. So I'm not against saying goodbye and wishing him well at the end of the year. Someone that I would like to keep would be Jamie Elliott, because he's also out of contract, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. But yeah, he's different to Mychek. He just doesn't look like he's slowing down, does he?
No, he's good last night.
Well, what's your opinion on that before we move on? Would you be happy to see Mychek?
It's not as clear cut that he stays. I think there's good arguments to be made for moving him on, but I'm kind of open to either option. You make good points about the development of West, and we've got a few others like McStay and like Membry, and he really has been fairly average best part of the last 2 months. So is that signaling the beginning of the end? Or beginning of the decline.
Although if he comes out and kicks 5 goals in a prelim and plays well in a granny and we win the flag, I might want to change my mind and keep him around. But
that would be down to your socks, surely.
Oh, that is true.
If you would have been wearing those at the time.
Maybe all the boys can get themselves a pair of these and wear them.
Yeah. We won't win again unless you do. You have to do it now.
Right, second quarter. How are you feeling? How were you feeling when Mason Cox gave up that 50 and we found ourselves 10 points down?
Mason Cox. I think you said last night or this morning, it was more likely to be this morning because I rang Dermot directly after a game and he didn't answer, which is unusual for Dermot. I thought, what's going on here? And he rings me back later, 20 minutes. He had been sobbing.
I was emotional.
I was
emotional.
It was mentally.
He couldn't take my call because he was all choked up due to the sobbing.
That's private.
Is that what you mean? You talk about it all the time. You're always talking about how you're breaking down in tears after games.
I didn't break down. I was a bit emotional. I was trying to hold it together.
Emotional to take a voice call.
One, it took a lot of me mentally, that game.
You didn't play the game. Can I just remind you? You watched the tally.
And secondly, it was just, it just meant so much to me. I was so proud of the boys. They were so bloody good. I know you and I can be accused of being negative on this podcast, especially in the last couple of months, but they were just so brilliant. They were so impressive. Like, what can you say? I was just proud of them, and I was just happy. It was happy tears.
Okay, you're not getting emotional again.
I mean,
okay, what was the question?
How are you feeling?
You can compose yourself. How was I feeling about what?
Mesa giving up that 50.
Mason Cox. Yes,
Well,
I was going
after
to say, once Dermot composed himself last night, rang me back. He said, you got two guys who are very intelligent, academically, apparently, being Mason Cox and Darcy Moore. Yet they just make these huge, monumental stuff-ups on the field, like not so much skill errors, but decision-making errors. How can that be? And I just point out there's different types of intelligence. But yeah, like Cox was holding Thilthorpe by the arm. There was nobody else around. It was Thilthorpe's free kick. Why is he pretending that he doesn't know who the free kick's going to? Jesus, Cox, it's a final. Don't stuff around like that. Just give the ball to Thilthorpe. Okay? You've just basically gifted them a goal. Yeah, it beggars belief. But having said that, because of the people who think we're negative all the time, we have to always counterbalance any negative comment with a positive one because of you people, irrational people who think we're negative.
Calm down.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I'm getting emotional in there.
Are you okay? What has happened?
So a positive. Cox was good. He brought the ball to ground if he couldn't mark it. They were intercepting all over the place 3 weeks ago. He's taken down the line good, strong marks. Did a bit for us in the ruck, enabled Cameron to go back to help out with the three-headed monsters. He was good.
I agree. It worked. 100% worked. He only had the 8 disposals, didn't kick a goal.
It's never about possession.
But 100%. He just played his role beautifully. Looking ahead to the prelim, he plays, doesn't he?
Oh, of course he does.
So is this?
Yes.
This is the end of McStay then?
It's sad.
For the year.
Well, you never know. You don't know what's going to happen.
Unless injury.
It could be an injury.
But if there's no injury, is this how we're going to go if we make a grand final as well?
Oh, well, I think so. I think if Cox is good for us. I suppose it depends to an extent on who we may be facing. It also depends, I suppose, in a lot of people's minds, not mine as much. It depends on the weather. If it's torrential rain in that, maybe he doesn't play. But by the same token, if it's torrential rain, I don't think you get a lot more out of McStay in wet than you do Cox. So if it's a Cox versus McStay debate, I think Cox is going to be ahead of him for the rest of the year.
And we just looked, and his ruck work is just so much better.
Oh, yeah.
I was very critical of Cox the first time he was in the team this year, that little patch where McStay was injured. He was very poor in that time, but it's Fon's footy, man. Like Mason Cox, he's a big game performer. He doesn't care about the home and away bullshit.
Oh, I think he does, but he just can't play well in it. But we've all written him off. I wrote him off a couple of years ago, I think.
Everybody has.
Yeah, so
he's Oh, McStay though. If we go on to win another premiership in his emergency, you just got to feel for the guy, don't you? That would be devastating blow.
You do, but it's not like they dropped him prematurely.
Oh,
He'd been playing awful football for a very long time. So they gave him every opportunity and he just didn't grasp it. And that's just the reality of the industry he's in.
But he was so big for us in 23 in that prelim. Like he does deserve a flag, but it's just we can't put him before the team, obviously. This is about us winning our 17 flag.
Exactly.
He's just not up to it this year.
Yeah.
It just sucks. It sucks. But and for those trolls, those fucking Collingwood supporters turning on their own. That's right.
I've already criticised our viewers before. Now you're criticising Collingwood supporters.
I'm criticising a few Collingwood supporters that Dan McStay had to take down his Instagram account because his own supporter base was sending him abusive messages. Like You really reckon he's going out there and deliberately playing poorly? Like, you're gutless. You're gutless and you're pathetic. And if you're one of those people and you're watching this, fuck off. Well, the fair dinkum. He's a Collingwood player. He's doing his best for us.
Yes,
Why does he deserve abuse?
No, it is ordinary. And what Lockie Schultz had to put up with last year, and what Chris Mayne had to put up with his first year at Collingwood, like
we criticize players on this podcast. We do, but we will never go out of our way to message them on social media or go up to them in person or whatever.
There were a couple of incidents with Will Hoskin Elliott that I'm not proud of. But,
Rightio. So anyway, we gave up that 50. They kicked that goal. They're 10 points up. Are you worried that they could be about to blow us away?
I can't remember being worried they were going to blow us away. What stage was that at? Well, I can't remember what the scoreboard was doing at that stage.
It was about maybe halfway
Oh
through
yes,
seconds.
yeah. They were Actually, they were dominating. I think I sent you a text saying
The inside 50 count was crazy at that point.
Yeah, they were dominating as far as possession goes at that point. Yes, I was worried.
Our defenders were holding up really well, but you were just thinking, God, at some point, would they be able to blow us away? How long can these defenders keep on going? And
then we snatched the last couple of goals that occurred.
Well, how about that last one? That Lockie Schultz torp hit in Darcy. Oh no, he didn't hit him. He bounced the ball in front of him.
In front of him.
And he goes on sockers on him.
Great composure.
Gets us the lead just before halftime again. And
Yeah.
God, that first half, that really was an arm wrestle, wasn't it? It really was. But then the third quarter, right? So let me get this up. So 3 goals in 3 minutes to side bottom, to Goey, and side bottom again to start that third quarter. So it was literally in the first couple of minutes, 3 in 3 minutes. That has a bit of a build to it, doesn't it? To go inside bottom, kicking important goals. We've seen that before. And then 5 minutes after that, we back it up with another 2 in a minute to Elliott and Lipinski. That gave us 7 unanswered goals and a 35-point lead halfway through the third. Incredible patch. How were you feeling at that point?
Oh, great. I thought we're 1 goal away from breaking them, but they take it down the other end. Tex Walker misses, which I thought he was just going to slot it. Then we take it down the other end. Lipinski running through forward 40 directly in front, lay down Mazaire for most footballers, but somebody at his skill level, he should have just whacked that straight. That was the goal. That was the goal that was going to break the game, and he missed it. Yeah. And then they went and they kicked the next 3. Was it? Did it happen in that order?
I have a feeling. So I have a feeling Tex missed one. You're right.
Yeah.
And then he or someone, I think it was him, one of their players, then they kicked one. They got the answering goal. Then we could have responded straight away through that Lipinski.
Oh, okay, that was the one.
And he missed. I think it was out of the centre back.
It was a Pedler who kicked that goal before.
I think it was Pedler. Yeah. And that would have just, I reckon, completely blown their confidence. They finally get that answering goal. We responded straight away, but Lipinski, it was a bad miss. There were a few bad misses. That Membry won in the last quarter as well, and obviously Myercheck, and it was just. But that was an incredible patch, and it's funny what can happen. Center clearances. We actually, clearances in general. We actually lost 35-33, which surprised me. But in that third quarter, we just absolutely dominated center clearances.
We got 7 in a row or something.
And isn't it funny that you can actually score when you get center clearances? You put the opposition defense under the pump. You give your forwards the best option. We're lowering our eyes. We're delivering it inside 50 properly. We're not bombing it on top of their heads. It's just a lot can happen when you actually win clearances and deliver it.
Changing
angles and
all that type of thing. Just not going bomb.
And it certainly helps when you've got a guy like Nick Dacos, who we won't talk about him just now. We'll hold off a little bit longer because how we could talk about him for about half an hour. But then they did kick the last 3 of that quarter after we're 35 up and got it to 19 at 3/4 time. And I called you, and I remember my exact words were, "I'm shattered." But
so I thought it's a little bit dramatic.
It was, but I just wear my heart on my sleeve and I'm watching the Pies, and I just have a feeling they kicked 19 points. You should be happy with that, but I just felt like we could have won more. We could have been going in with a 40-point lead and game over.
Well, they kicked 1 in the last minute, didn't they?
Phil Thorpe, that one broke my heart. That one, yeah. But so, were you confident still going into that last, or?
No, I didn't quite get to confident. No, I didn't get to the level of confidence.
Okay, let me. Were you confident when we were 35 up?
Yeah, I was warmly confident then, but when they got back when they started to kick those last few goals, I did my own the old superstitious mute of the TV, and it tends to work. It does. It's quite
The same way that these socks work.
Oh no, the socks are ridiculous.
You're the one. So if I didn't wear these in the prelim when we lost, you would be the first person to tell me off.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, so I muted it late in the third quarter, and I didn't unmute it until 2 minutes to go, where at that stage I needed 3 goals to win. Elliot then kicked another one to extend it out to 4 goals. But I didn't feel confident of winning until we were inside 2 minutes. That's how. Well, that's what happened when you're a Collingwood supporter of my vintage, and you've seen a lot of games lost that shouldn't have been lost. You tend to be a little bit like that.
Then the last quarter, again, it was just an arm wrestle, wasn't it? There was no goal kicked until Elliot kicked that last one with about 20 seconds left.
Wasn't there?
I don't think so.
I think you're right. I think I remember looking at the clock and thinking there hasn't been a goal scored, but I didn't realise that was the only goal scored. Was that the only goal scored of the quarter?
I'm pretty sure. I could look it up, but
No, don't worry.
right.
If people want interested, they can look it up.
I'm pretty sure.
right.
I'm pretty sure it was.
We might be right or we might be wrong, but there certainly wasn't many kicked.
No, we just handled the moments really well in that last quarter. There was some crunching tackles. That one, Phil Forbes should have just run in and kicked the goal, and Darcy Moore and Will Parker just pounced on him.
Well, talking about handling, you know what the most beautiful moment of the night was? You're not going to know. It's obscure. It
Yeah.
was centre half back. They were about 17, 18 points down. Still enough time. Houston had the board, centre half back. He threw it and he got away with it.
Yeah,
Beauty.
Yeah.
Talk about karma.
Fuck shit.
Sucker. Yeah.
So yeah, and then but hold on, famous victory and almost.
Oh, he's got a prop.
And-
He hasn't got the pot, has he? Jesus.
This almost it was shaking because obviously this came off after that Hawks win and it went quickly back on about 6 weeks later. Oh, not yet. I don't want to jinx this like I did last time, but
Yes,
look, it's shaking. It's about to blow. Oh,
such a showman. The kiddies at home would love all this.
it's shaking.
Oh, mummy, let me stay for 5 more minutes to watch Dermot and Michael.
Oh boy, that was remarkable. It was a remarkable game. I watched the highlights this morning. I can't wait to sit back and watch the whole game again because, especially that second half, it's just. Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks. We get to sit down. We get to watch the Brisbane Geelong prelim tonight, and then the two finals tomorrow.
Beat each other up. A lot of suspensions. Talking about suspensions, can I just say?
Touch on the go. Go on.
Yes, we're recording this midday Friday.
1:26 p.m. Friday.
Okay, is it that late? Okay, yeah, whatever. So obviously, a lot of people will be listening to this after the decision's made. Talking about confidence. I'm not confident with anything when it comes to the AFL Tribunal and MRO. Okay? I think Michael Christian's very good at his job normally. That doesn't mean Laura Payne won't step in and override him like she did with Maynard. I would think De Goey's fine. I heard him interviewed after the game, and I think it was doesn't matter who it was. Channel 7 person asked him about it, and he said, "Well, I actually contesting the ball. It hit my ankle or something."
Yeah.
He said it hit his leg. I couldn't pick that up on the film.
It did.
So, and you got John Rolfe on Foxtel.
Who?
John Rolfe on Foxtel.
Ralphie?
He was likening it to Scratch. I was going to say Scratch and Neil. Neil from Shannon Neil from Geelong. He got rubbed out from a week against Sydney a few weeks ago for what Ralph called a similar incident. But to my mind, they're not similar because the Sydney incident, the ball wasn't there. It was off the ball. Surely that has to has to be taken into account.
And people that actually know anything about the game, Jason Dunstall, David King, Lee Montagna, all put him in his place and basically said that.
But John,
An idiot. Everyone knows that.
John Rolfe said, under the law, it doesn't make a difference whether the ball's there or not.
John Rowe says a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll let the boys for the rant to whine about John Ralph, because I'm sure they're going to put in a good rant about him, and I'm looking forward to that. So we don't have to touch on it, but the goal will be fine.
Well, if worse came to worse and he got suspended for a week, why couldn't we use the same rationale as Adelaide used with Rankin? Because part of the reason Adelaide was able to get it from 5 weeks down to 4 was that they convinced the tribunal to wait finals matches against home and away matches. Okay, so it's worse, of course, to lose a finals match. So they got to miss a finals match. So they got it down from 5 to 4. If De Goey got a week, why couldn't we using the same argument, get it down from 1 week to a fine? And I'm being serious. Why not be consistent like that? If Rankin got a week off because it was finals, why couldn't De Goey get a week off because it's finals?
Could we not tell them that if De Goey doesn't play the prelim, he'll be sad?
Well, I imagine he would be.
maybe we can find something that Snoop Dogg did that's similar.
Yeah. It's a compelling argument. He won't be on top of the world, will he? There's going to be a level of sadness.
Can I touch, before we get into individuals for Collingwood, I want to touch on 3 unpleasant individuals. Unpleasant. Mark Keane.
Oh, it's good. No,
Mark Keane.
You're not staying with Will Hoskin, Elliot. No.
Mark Keane. Chirp, 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 chirp all night. Your shithouse. Fuck off, bitch. And, I don't know where that came from.
Fuck off, bitch.
Fuck off. Did you see there's about a minute left? At this point, they've lost. And Marchek's taking one of his many set shots that he misses. He misses, and Mark Keane goes up behind him. Chirp, 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 chirp. Keane, the game's over, you stupid fuck. What are you doing? Like, home and away heroes, the Adelaide Crows, aren't they? Like, you can win your little home and away match and have your little minor premiership. The big boys will come out in September, back off, and then, poor Benny Keys. Oh,
what happened with that?
Oh, he just got a little bit sad. Like, seriously.
Don't waste your sadness, Ben Keys, until you get suspended at the tribunal. Play that card then.
Oh, that was good. Braden Maynard. I don't know what Brazzy would have been saying, but I would have loved to have been there. The other one, a guy that wasn't playing, Stephen Rowe.
Stephen. Oh, is he?
That's for you, Stephen Rowe. Spotify and Apple listeners wouldn't be able to see, but there is a bird currently being flipped. Dan Gorridge, Bailey Smith style. Stephen Rowe,
So he's the SC. Is he SEN South Australia? Is that radio DJ?
Well, he's radio in South Australia. I'm not sure what he. Okay. I think he's SEN. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Biggest moron. He's come out. He's came out and said more in the lead up to the game as to why Adelaide asserted it isn't.
I didn't bother listening to him. He looked like a moron, so I didn't bother.
He's always been a moron, this guy. Oh, and then actually, there's another one. The Adelaide fans booing Quain up.
Yeah, it doesn't quite make any sense.
Absolute ferals, aren't they?
Well, I heard this morning it was mostly directed at Quain or at Dacos, as per usual, and Houston. But I thought to myself, they booed everything. I don't think they just booed those guys specifically. It's just every decision made, every time a Collingwood player got possession of the football, it was just constant booing. So, but apparently it was aimed mostly at those 3 guys, which, well, what's the point in talking about it? We all know it just makes no sense.
But what do you mean? Of course, it's Quainer's fault that he got called a name.
Yeah, look.
How can you think that it wasn't Quainer's fault?
Well, look, I don't mind people booing when there's a reason to boo, a justifiable reason. You pay your money, you go to the games. It's a bit of vaudeville, Back in the 1920s, you'd boo the villain. Not that I was around the 20s, but that's what I understand. So I understand the theatre of it, but booing somebody in a really nasty manner because they were called a homophobic slur, it doesn't. They're the victims. They're not the perpetrators. But anyway, there you go.
Right.
Or booing somebody for being good, like Dacos. That makes no sense.
I've always hated that. People used to do it to Dusty as well, and it's just like, why can't you? And Buddy was another one that got booed. Why can't you just enjoy these players? Like, they don't play for your club, but you're witnessing greatness.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about some individuals because this is what we love to do. Let's praise all these guys. Let's start with the back six, and we've already talked about Darcy Moore, and he was fucking brilliant.
Intercepting possessions off the charts.
Insane. So you got Darcy Moore, who was the star of the show. You got Billy Frampton, you got Isaac Quainer, you got Braden Maynard, and even Harry Perryman. Those five.
No, nobody knows as Harry Perryman, as we've established in the past. He's a.
You don't think Harry Perryman played well last night?
I'm sure he probably would have. I just didn't see him.
He was there, Mick. He was there.
Not once, not twice, but now 3 times. Big Billy Frampton has taken the All-Australian full forward to the cleaners.
What a pickup he's been. Like, honestly, 2023, he played every position on the ground, filled holes when Cameron and Cox were injured in the ruck. He held that position.
We wouldn't have won that premiership without him. And I'm not even talking about grand final day, which he played a vital and great role. But what Dermot's saying, we didn't have a ruckman for 6 years in the middle of the year. Without him, we wouldn't have made top 4.
No. And then he played his normal position full back for a lot of it too. And then obviously comes in for the grand final, plays full forward as a defensive role on Harris Andrews and shuts him down for 3/4. And this year...
And he was funny at times too. So he provided comic relief during the grand final too. When he tried to mark in the back of his hands.
And then this year, of course, wasn't even apparently in our best 22 to start the year. Reef McGuinness was ahead of him.
Yep.
McGuinness gets injured. He comes down and he's an absolute rocket fullback all season. And he's doing it on the biggest stage now. And Adelaide would be haunted by him because obviously he was on there. He played for them. He played about, 20 games for the Crows? And He's everything that we've been wanting for ages. Like in the preseason, we were saying we need a big fullback to help support Darcy Moore, Jeremy Howe. We had this guy on the list. We just didn't pay him respect.
Do you know it's probably highly likely that in 2 weeks we're going to be slagging him off because he's made a series of blunders in the prelim?
I don't know about that.
He's that type of player who could also do that.
I don't know. We've been singing his praises all year.
Yeah, that's true. But but
his confidence is there now. I mean, he realizes he belongs at the level. He's just fantastic. He's playing
really well.
And then you got
What else we got?
well, Bruzzy and IQ and Perryman, those small medium defenders. And Josh Dacos off halfback was quite impressive too. They were just all Josh Dacos was second for contested possessions to Collingwood last night.
No, I didn't know that. I wasn't. He played a solid game. Spoiler alert, he's not in my votes.
Okay.
There's a lot of players in my vote.
Yeah, it's hard to get votes, isn't it? So I've got a massive apology. Someone that didn't get in my vote, so I really wanted to. But I thought they were just all fantastic. They were under a lot of pressure in that first half. I think in the end, I didn't actually write this down. I think I saw we lost inside 50s 50-49 in the end.
Yes. I looked that up this morning.
So we came back strong in the second half in terms of inside 50s, but that first half we were getting smashed and they just held up beautifully.
Yep.
It was unbelievable.
Yep.
The midfield. Who want to talk about the midfield first? Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos. I'll let you start.
Okay, I said a couple of weeks ago, this has been as good a year as it's been because it's been a very good year by Dacos. It's been probably the weakest of his years so far. Excuse me.
Not in his first. His first
his
first was great for a first year.
Yeah, probably. But certainly behind 23 and 24. And I said that there have been the games where he's got a lot of possessions, high 20s, mid 30s, but he hasn't really hurt the opposition. Like last night, he only, in inverted commas, got 24 possessions, and he only, in inverted commas again, got 435 metres gained, but he crucified the opposition with his ball use. That was a much better game than some of his 35 possession games. He slaughtered them.
I think I compared on the phone to you. I think I said he had 42 or 43 against Freo earlier in the year at the MCG.
Yeah, that wasn't a great game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
But it wasn't a great game.
No, this 24 disposal game was 10 times, 20 times better than that game. Like some of those kicks he pulled up, his composure, the way he just weaved through traffic. It was Pendlebury-like in terms of it felt like he just had all the time in the world. And there were a couple, that white one in the last quarter that he was turning inside out. And it looked like he was going to have a shot at goal, and I'm screaming, kick the goal, Nick. What are you doing? Kick the goal. Then just calmly sets it over to Membry. He missed a goal he should have kicked, but how he could see him in the corner of his eye and then execute that kick was just incredible, and it shows why I'm not a fucking footballer. I would have just blasted away and had a shot at goal. But
that indicates why you weren't a footballer. Not the fact that you could never get anywhere near the freaking ball. That was always also a giveaway.
but that was up there in one of his better games, Nick Dacos, which is saying a lot because he's played some incredible games.
Yes.
Stat wise, it would be probably not even in his top 30, 40 games.
But probably he's certainly, I reckon, his best this year.
Yeah, impact wise, it was just another level and basically carried up. It wasn't a high disposal game. Geordie led the way on 26 and then Nick with 24 for us. So he was still up there in our leading disposal winners, but he's just. This could be the final series that's just, well, we already know he's one of the greats, but like even his biggest doubters, the Carlton fans and that one random North Melbourne fan that floats around on Twitter as well, even his biggest critics won't be able to say anything after this final series.
They'll
fight.
I think you overestimate their intelligence level. They'll still say stuff.
Speaking of Geordie, 26 disposals. Yeah. He's just a September specialist, isn't he? He got himself right at the right time. And Fly said at his press conference after the game, he said best case scenario when he was looking at week 1 of the finals a couple of months ago, he had his fingers crossed that Geordie would be able to maybe sneak in as the sub. And he said his just fitness levels have just gone through the roof. Like it's way above anything he expected, and he's now basically playing full-time mid. Just a clearance beast. His burst of speed is back. He's just a bull. He's just doing it again in September.
Did you notice him in the forward? I didn't look at the centre. Actually, I did look at the centre bounce attendances. And one thing caught my eye. I think Long only had 7 or something. Which
did he?
Yeah, but did you see De Goey spend much time forward? Because there was speculation that McRae didn't rule out before the game that he might be spending a bit of time forward, and same with Dacos, Nick Dacos.
Nick Dacos led our way for CBA's 19, Darcy Cameron 18, Jordan De Goey 17, Pendlebury 14.
Look down the
goes to Long 9.
I was 9, was it?
McCreary 7, Cox 5, Josh Dacos 2, including the first one of the game. So when he lined up there, I thought he was going to play midfield, but he didn't. And then Jack Crisp had the 1.
Yeah, I thought Long was in there more than 9. But we were talking about the midfield. So he finished with De Goey because Long.
Yeah, talk about
back to his best.
Wow, he played on Dawson and kept Dawson quiet. Yeah. 19 disposals.
Although Dawson saddled up to Nick Dacos in the last quarter, at the start of the last quarter at least. But Long, you reckon Long was doing a run with Dawson?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Fly said so in his press conference as well.
Oh, well, did he? Okay.
He's 100% back to his best now. I think what day he had a pretty ordinary end to the home and away season, but he had one really bad game in particular. Was it against the Hawks or the Lions? It was one of those.
Hawks.
It was the Hawks.
Yeah.
And I remember
and the Lions too. Actually, he had a couple of bad and Gold Coast when he tagged Matt Rowe.
But it was one of those games. We came in here for the podcast, and I said, I've seen enough. I don't trust. I like his season overall, but I don't trust this guy on the biggest stage. Come finals, I've seen enough to know that he can't handle the pressure at the moment as a young guy, and I want Tom Mitchell because he's been there, done that. Tom Mitchell. Ned Long made that comment look stupid because he stood up. He stood up last night.
I heard somebody say he looks to have slimmed down slightly. Last night he looked slimmer than he has earlier in the year. Did you notice that?
No.
Long? No.
Maybe he is, but
I'm not sure whether he's improved his aerobic ability and he's slimmed down. I don't know.
Now here's an interesting stat. Ned Long last night broke the record for the most tackles from a Collingwood player in a season.
Oh, did he?
Beat Luke Ball, who had the record in 2011.
Right. Okay, and record being? Doesn't matter.
I don't know. Right. What do you mean? Do you want the exact amount of tackles?
Oh, I thought it would have been just interesting, given that you're telling us he's broken a record, but didn't tell us.
Oh, I don't know.
What
he's got the record. He's beaten Luke Ball.
He's got the record, right?
Beaten Luke Ball.
Yep. Usain Bolt holds the record for the 100-meter final. It's not important how fast he ran, though. Nobody's interested in that.
I'll read out some of Ned Long's stats because normally I do this for the Julian Rowe medal, but I think this is relevant at the moment. So he had the 23 disposals, a team high 13 contested possessions, a game high 9 tackles, 19 pressure acts, 5 clearances, 5 score involvements, and 2 direct goal assists. Incredible. That was what he was doing in the first half of the year, week in, week out. He's that big body.
How many handballs did he get, did you say?
I'm just reading I haven't written that down. But he had the 23 disposals all up.
Right. Yeah.
It was
because he was standing up in tackles like he was earlier in the year, feeding it off.
They're just all these guys, these main midfielders race. Nick, Geordie, Longy, and Pendlebury. They're just all completely different types of players. They all complement each other really well.
Yeah.
And that's the other Pendlebury. His stats actually, you looked at his stats and he didn't look like a dominating performance, but far out he was important for us.
Yeah, especially in the last quarter. Again in the last quarter. He's just, as they say, he's just a conductor. And I actually saw him in the rooms after the game, and they were organising their circle to sing the song. And he's organising people in there too. He's saying, "You over there, you go back." Yeah. He's pushing. So even in the locker rooms, he's a conductor.
He is incredible. But unfortunately, he's hurting the team, according to Tom Rockcliffe. So he must go at some point.
I had a good idea. I asked you to post it to your group chat. I bet you didn't do it, did you?
No. Well,
Yeah,
maybe you
because
can join it and it won't be an issue.
No, I'm not interested. Not interested in that. But in the panel show, we spoke about how we'd use Pendlebury. After the panel show, I had this, what I can only describe as a brilliant idea. Why don't we use him as we do whenever we play Carlton? And that is basically a run with Cripps and then kind of run off him at stoppages. And Cripps doesn't really hurt us at all because Pendlebury always does the job on him. Why? I thought with Rankin out, if we just nullify Dawson, we'll win this.
And we did, but just not with Pendlebury.
Just not with Pendlebury. But how good would that have been? Did you post that on the
No.
group? No, you didn't, did you? I knew you weren't going to.
No.
No. Why didn't you post it?
I had no interest in doing so. If I'm going to be completely honest. All right, let's talk forwards. We already touched a little bit on Myercheck and Cox and the fact that McStay's not going to be back, but there's 2 guys I want to talk about.
Sorry, can we just back up? I've got one more thing to say about the midfield runners.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yep.
Jack Crisp.
Oh, yeah.
He was a bit sloppy.
He was. He still played all right.
Yeah, played all right, but a bit sloppy. He had a couple of those crisp special goals, those ones that are about 45, 50 out, 45-degree angle, wrong side for a left footer, but which he normally nails. And he nailed a lot of those in the 23 finals, as we remember, and a lot since. But he missed about 3 of them last night, of those shots. I suppose, and he can be forgiven for missing a couple of them. I thought he would have nailed at least one of them, but anyway. And his general field kicking off and handball was a bit sloppy.
No,
yeah.
I agree. Let's talk about the most clutch player in the competition, Jamie Elliott.
I don't believe that's the case, but yeah, let's talk about him. Yep.
He was clutch last time, wasn't he?
Well, yes, he was. There was one particular goal he kicked, which was the very definition of clutch. I'm not going to...
Are you hurting right now?
No. Well, I wanted him to miss the goal.
I think you did.
I wanted Adelaide to win.
Maybe you did.
No, I celebrated that on the text directly after he kicked it. I think you can attest to that. Yeah, he had one. It was kicking from about 35, 45-degree angle. They're your clutch goals. A little bit difficult, but you're expected to kick them. That's when the pressure comes. That's why you're clutch. You have to kick them. I tell you, whenever you think clutch, think Pendlebury's goal in the 23 grand final when Bobby Hill kicked it to him. That's your clutch goal. You should be kicking it, but there's a bit of pressure on, or there's a lot of pressure on.
You know, Jamie Elliott, this is true. He had never kicked more than 2 goals in a final before last night.
No, hadn't he?
No.
Yeah, well, that's because he's not really clutch when it comes to... Well, it's not to say he can't kick the odd clutch goal, but he struggles a little bit with those clutch goals. And I think I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole with you again. I think I've documented it pretty well over the years that the actual clutch goals. I'm not talking about. Please don't freaking ring in. Do we have a phone number they can ring? If we did,
can I give them?
Now hold on. Let me finish this point. This is a vital point, and I think it'll really clarify everything. Don't freaking ring in saying, "Oh, how about the ones?" 50 out on the boundary of the game, and there's no pressure there. Nobody's expecting you to kick those goals. So where does the clutch come from? They're the most relaxed goals you could possibly kick.
To call Michael 0477
Oh no, give it out. No, give it out. I don't care.
You want me to give your phone number out? 0477
Okay. Better not.
He was unbelievable, Jamie Elliott. He was fucking unbelievable. What?
Just look at that photo of me. You got a photo. Where'd you get that? That's not a very flattering photo.
I took that on a tram after we were coming back from the qualifying final in 23. The night when I got these socks, actually. That's a.
I thought you had a photo of me during my visit to St Kilda. Remember that photo, controversial photo? I thought that was your screensaver.
Actually was at some point. I got a new phone since then.
That was a good photo. But anyway, keep on going. Big controversial, but anyway.
We won't talk about that. But yeah, so Elliot was one, and then another guy who I think they said after the game that this next guy I'm about to talk about, had played 5% forward for the entirety of the season. Last night played 50% forward, and that was still side bottom.
Right, yes. Did he?
3 goals.
Yep.
3 goals. The first time he's kicked 3 goals in a final
Yep,
since the
that's
2010 qualifying final against the Bulldogs.
Yep.
Oscar actually touched on that game in the last panel show, so that was it was interesting. But yeah, and we've always said, you and I have always said that he's so dangerous around goals.
Yeah. I've been saying a few years ago that he should be a small forward. When he looked like his career was on the wane about 2 years ago, I say throw him forward. He's so smart around goals. And people were saying, "Oh no, it can't be a small forward because he doesn't have the defensive side to his game." Well, nobody's got all sides to their game.
But I think he does have the defensive side of the game. To be an elite wingman, you have to have that defensive side to your game.
That's true.
That's ridiculous. But I think it was a great coaching move to put him forward last night because we talked about the midfield mix a lot in the lead up to this game and how many guys we've got that could potentially go through there. And Sidebottom's best form this year came as an inside mid, and his form had sort of dropped away a lot since he's been back on a wing. And honestly, I'm not sure if we could have kept him on the wing full time because his form just wasn't stacking up. But there was just so many guys in that midfield, it was hard to fit him in. So trying something new, like putting him in the forward line, especially without Bobby Hill, and again, completely different player to Bobby Hill, but that's one less quality forward, it was crucial. And he kicked that clutch set shot. That's that's a definition of clutch, wasn't it? That first one he kicked in your book, about 35 out, 40 out directly in front.
That's a little less because you're right in front.
Sorry, I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh well, I thought I spelled it out over
Sorry,
the years, but the rules are with clutch goal.
But then he kicked
That's directly in front. You should be kicking that.
Then he kicks those to the start, the third quarter, and he was just fantastic. So bottom. So keep him in that role for the prelim. There's no need to change.
I don't know.
50-50 split.
You have to understand a lot of moves are successful because they come as maybe an element of surprise in them. And if you're going with the same move the next week, it might not be as successful because the opposition might be expecting it. So I've planned for it. So did the opposition plan for Sidebottom to be forward? Probably not.
Probably not. But like, I don't really.
Well, could he repeat it? If you ask, could he repeat it? Yes, he could because he's skilled around goals. That's what we've been saying.
All right, let's look ahead a little bit, unless you got anything else to touch on, any more individuals.
The actual game itself, no, I don't think so. No, no.
All right, I'm gonna chuck a couple of names at you. What are we gonna do with these guys in the next couple of weeks?
Yes, yeah. Right.
Jeremy Howe. Jeremy Howe's fit for a prelim. What are we gonna do?
Well, we touched on this on the panel show a couple of days ago. My opinion hasn't changed. I think because he's such an experienced player that you would just take his word and the word of the fitness staff. You'd have to take it as gospel because he's so important to us. You would take the chance and play him if they declared him fit.
Does he come in for Will Parker? How did you see Will Parker's game first? And does he replace Parker?
Yeah, I thought Will Parker was okay. I don't know what his stats were. I don't think he didn't blow him out of the water, of course. Stat-wise, he might have only got 12, 13, 14 type of thing.
We kept on talking while
even probably less. But I thought he was composed. As I've always said about Will Parker, he comes in and he just looks composed and he just doesn't make mistakes or very often.
He had 12, but was of course subbed off. So.
Yeah. So, look, would he hold his spot if Howe came back in? We got Steele there as well, haven't you?
That's what I meant. Does Parker start as sub if Howe's back? So then you got that insurance for if Jeremy Howe does go down?
Yeah, probably. Although having said that, Steele only came in for the last 5 minutes, you told me. And he had a couple of possessions. He had a nice kick inside forward 50 was one of them.
It's harsh on Steele because he has had that opportunity, but it's the time of year where guys are going to be unlucky.
Yeah, well, my gut feel was, you'd have Howe comes in and you'd have Parker as the sub, but then of course the next one, the next guy you're going to ask me about, maybe Parker doesn't stay in.
Is that Bobby Hill? If he's back from his little Tassie trip?
Oh well, I talk because you might know he's heading down our way today to make a paid appearance at the Albert Road store,
Which is only like 5 minutes down the road from your way.
Yeah, it's our local where when we go, to get takeaway, we go to Albert Road, and it's all decked out in Collingwood gear, and they're good blokes down there. And so he was due there today. So I was there earlier today, and I was talking to the owner about it. I said, "Yeah, looking forward to Bobby's coming down." He said, "Oh no, he's not coming today." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Oh, personal reasons, family issues. Apparently, he's had to pull out."
No,
he didn't want to talk about it though. He said it's personal. Don't ask me anymore. But Bobby's apparently not going to be there. You know who apparently was there last week?
Oh, sorry. I'm actually just surprised by it. Yeah, did that actually happen?
That actually happened
Today. He told you that today.
He told me that earlier today. Personal reasons, family issues.
Oh, Bobby.
Will Hoskin. I'm only joking. Did you really believe me?
Oh,
I do know the guy.
Well, hold on. That isn't so hard to believe. Why? So that's a lie.
That was just an obvious joke. I was making reference to how McRae's always making excuses for Bobby not turning up.
Right.
The fish and chip man had to do the same.
Right. So
you missed the subtlety. You got no subtlety.
So he is going.
Oh, as far as I know, yeah. But he is. I do know the guy. We do go in there.
How do you feel about him going to the Moon Fish and Chip shop instead of hanging around the club and?
Well, apparently, and I heard this from somewhere, so might not be true. That the club preferred that he. Collingwood preferred that he arrived at the club today and did some training by himself at Collingwood.
Who do you have that's a connection? How do you possibly?
No, did I see it on Twitter? I think
right.
I might have
read it online.
I'm just saying it. I'm not saying how credible it is, but I think it was a journalist on Twitter said the club expected him at the club today to do some training. That's what they would have preferred, but apparently no. He's coming down to Tasmania to do a paid gig.
Yeah, they've had a lot of players there. I know the Dacos boys were there at one point.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Will Hoskin-Adley was there last week, apparently.
Was he really?
Yeah, put everyone off their food.
Is that another joke?
No, it's not another joke. He was there last week. Yeah, but you've had Maynard there, you've had Quaynor there. You go in there, they got their photos up, and it's there you go.
Right. So Bobby,
but Will Hoskin-Adley was there apparently last week. That would have been
so
fun.
you and Hoskin-Elliott probably would have only been 5 minutes down from each other.
Yeah, I didn't know he was there.
I'm surprised he wanted to come down. He surely knows that you would have been around. He's been warned about you.
Well, I have got that intervention order where I can't go within a certain number of meters of him. But
here's my issue with Bobby. So,
did you ask me a question? What was the question? You hadn't posed a question yet.
No, it was about Jeremy Howe. Now we're moving on to Bobby. So, let's say Jeremy Howe comes in for Steele and Parker's the sub.
Right.
As insurance. Let's just say that happens. But could it possibly be instead of Parker a sub, it's Bobby a sub, and you don't have that insurance for Howe? Would you risk both of them? One of them, this is Bobby and Howe?
I don't think you should. I can understand the comfort blanket aspect of having a bit of insurance for Howe, but then again, they're not like for like, of course. We know that. Parker doesn't play at all. So how much insurance it is debatable anyway.
And maybe if Howe went down to Houston, could push from a wing to back or something like that. So
there's only an element of insurance in that anyway.
Yeah.
But whether you should be going in with that mindset of insurance or whether you should be going in with the mindset of let's just pick our best side if the players are available and fit. I'd probably go for the latter. If you think Bobby's fit, if you think he can run a game out or at least a fair portion of the game, pick him, because even if you're picking him as a sub, he could be playing 3/4. You don't know, 4/4 even. If I reckon they just pick their best side. If they think Bobby Hill's in that best side, you pick him.
I don't know anymore.
I don't really know either, but that's my take.
When I did my 23 in our last regular episode, I had Bobby Hill as an in. I was really keen on him, and I wasn't even as a sub. It was in the 22. I just watched this last night, and I thought these guys just tried their asses off. They went over to Adelaide. They worked together as a team. It was just one of the more incredible performances where everybody contributed. And then you got a guy that just isn't 100% invested. He's going down to fucking Moona fish and chip shop. He's just there's talk. He's touching. We're playing a scratch match in the
Shot of Moona.
Well, he should be in Melbourne. He should be in Melbourne at the club.
It's not Vienna in the 17th century, sure, but it's not a bad place. Like, it's not Gagebrook.
He's he's touch and go to play in the scratch match tomorrow. So there's a scratch match. Collingwood
Yes, I heard
up
that,
against Geelong,
yes.
and McRae can't confirm whether he's going to play or not. Like, if this guy is as desperate as what he's saying he is to get back in his finals team, he must suit up tomorrow in that scratch match. Why is he paid?
I heard that he wanted to play in the scratch match, and somebody else wasn't sure whether he
See,
should.
there's all these things getting thrown around. Like, what the hell's happening? Like, do we want a guy that we're just not sure where the commitment is over someone like a Will Parker or Rowan Steele that, God, they're nowhere near as good as Bobby Hill, but I tell you what, they're probably a hell of a lot more desperate than what he
That's
is.
fair. Now, what I don't accept, though, and I've heard this from a few journalists, and that is, if he was to come into the side, it could potentially put the noses out of joints of some of the players. They would say, "Oh, why should he come back in when a whatever a Steele or a Parker has committed to the club player?" Listen, at the end of the day, you pick your best side. Okay, we're not there to mollycoddle people.
I don't think that's an issue because I think the players
It's competitive industry.
what the players want at the end of the day is a premiership.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're not going to be like sitting there after with an flame and like, oh, what's Bobby here? Why is he here with a medal around his neck? It should be Parker. And they're not going to be sitting there all flat about it.
Well, that's what I thought, but it's been said a few times in the last week by journalists.
Is he the perfect sub? Because we're both talking about how we think he should be in the 22 going into the qualifying final. Is it now at the stage where at best he's just the 23rd man?
It depends. It depends on how fit they think he is. Like I said in the panel show the other day, he plays majority. He occasionally takes a run up the field, but majority he's a inside kind of 30 type player. He's not running his 12, 13, 14 kilometres in a game like a midfielder, so he doesn't need that level of fitness. Has he got enough fitness? Because he's got a few pre-seasons under his belt now, so he should have a foundation of fitness. Like, how old is he? He's 23 or 24 or something like that. He's not 2021, so he should have that foundation. So really, the conditioning staff might think he might be able to run out a whole game in that role. So
it's an interesting.
But he would be to my mind a sub. I like subs who can potentially come on and expose the opposition for pace. He can exploit it for pace, and he's got that, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And he can break the lines and that type of thing. They're the type of subs I like, and he's the epitome of that.
Yeah. Well, I reckon we'll do. I'm in an arguing about this since our win last night. I reckon we come back next week, despite there not being a game. Maybe after we find out who our opponent is. Just have a little podcast, a short one. And hopefully by that point, we'll know more about Bobby Hill and Jeremy Howe. We can chat a little bit more about that and whether it's worth taking the risk. But
well, did I hear today, did McRae say that Howe would be fit for the prelim?
No, he didn't say. He said he's a quick healer, and I think he basically, he's a chance, but he's not. Definitely didn't commit. Yeah. Speaking of the prelim,
you know who's not in good shape at the moment? The Grub Man. I reckon he'd be a bit seedy this morning. You sent me a little clip of, well, he was at the game by the looks of it, was he?
Yeah. You're gonna be jealous, buddy. So, I'm now 100% confirmed going to Melbourne because that little risk I took to be over there from the prelim to the grand final, it's now paid off. Well, at least the prelim side of things. So I'll be at that game, which is awesome. And I'll be meeting the Grub Man in person.
Oh, you're meeting the Grub Man in person, are you?
Meeting the Grub Man. Maybe not just, maybe all of them. Paige is keen to catch up, and And hopefully we can get Pats and Serge and Andreas there as well.
So my invitation lost in the mail.
You and Oscar will be trapped in Tassie, so
I'm trapped in Tassie. That's quite,
maybe you and Oscar can catch up for a beer and talk.
that's quite an appropriate adjective. Trapped in Tassie.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be great. It'd probably be more likely. We were talking prelim last night, but I realized I'm actually getting there on the Friday morning, so we'll probably play the Friday night, I think. So
Nice.
chances are it'd probably be more grand final week if we're there. That we'll catch up
Okay.
and
Sounds good.
yeah, because it's I'll let you know how it goes. Rightio. But speaking of all these predictions of prelims and grand finals, we're there. We're there now. Who do you want to play? These are the options. These are the options.
I know the options.
So it's the listeners might not know
Well, that's
the
true.
options.
That's true. The private conversation, isn't it?
So this has been recorded before any of the other finals. So there's a chance that these people are listening or watching this now and know the results. But as of right now, we could either come up against the loser of Geelong or Brisbane. So the winner of that game will be on the opposite side of the draw to us. The loser will be on the same side. So it will either be Geelong or Brisbane. That's the most likely thing to happen. Or possibly Freo or Gold Coast if they will happen to get a little run on and win two finals and make a prelim. Out of those four teams,
Gold Coast.
you reckon we're going to play Gold Coast?
Oh, I thought it was going to be who do you want?
Oh.
Gold Coast. Locking Gold Coast.
Gold Coast at the MCG gives me GWS at the MCG 2019 vibe.
Yeah, I know, but if you had a choice, you'd still go Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Lock them in.
Gold Coast.
But who do I think?
Or who do you think? Who do you want? Let's just be the more realistic. Geelong and Brisbane. Who do you want and who do you think?
Okay. I think Brisbane will win tonight. So it won't be them. It'll be Geelong. And is that what I want out of those two? Probably slight preference for Geelong.
Same.
But there's not a lot in it.
I'm not sure how much I rate. Obviously, I rate Geelong. Geelong have been an incredible club for 2 decades, but I just think Brisbane are the more dangerous, better football club, despite that being at the MCG.
Well, some of our panel members in recent months have been very confident about a prospective game against Geelong. I remember Andreas saying he'd be very confident. I think it might have been Serge, was it, who thought we had their measure. Yeah, I'm not as confident, but more confident than Brisbane.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's a prelim final. At the end of the day, you're not going to get an easy
No,
opponent,
no. Well, no, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
unless it is Gold Coast. No, but even
Gold Coast.
that would be if
like
they made a prelim, they would be on a roll, wouldn't they?
Oh, they'd think nothing to lose.
Yeah,
They'd think we're already exceeded expectations, and then they got Anderson and Rowe in the middle, and they got King up forward, and guys like Humphreys and God knows.
here's the thing: if they
Humphrey, isn't it? Humphrey.
if they made a prelim Gold Coast, they would have gone to Perth and won. They would have then beaten either Brisbane at the Gabba or Geelong at the G. So if they somehow were there against us, then they'd be very, very confident, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'll be in good form. Right, yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we get into the Julian Rowe medal? Because I'm going through my notes just to make sure. Because
No, I don't think so. I thought the umpiring was solid last night.
Wow, when did we ever say that?
I thought they were solid. I can't think of any, except for the Houston one. That was good, as I said before. But and there might have been a couple of little ones like that. But you accept that the people are going to make mistakes. It's just when they make the amount and the level of mistakes. That's when it becomes a bit frustrating. But last night they were pretty good.
Rightio, let's get into the Julian Rowe medal.
Been pretty good, Julian Rowe. He's been better than pretty good. He's been a forward that has presented for them today.
All right, so Julian Rowe medal. I only told you this morning, it's a little bit different in finals. I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
More votes are on offer. So obviously it's between 10 to 60 in home and away football. Finals are more important, as we all know. The performances are...
Adelaide, yeah, they should be weighted differently.
Yeah.
Finals, even at the tribunal.
So we've gone 10 to 80, maximum amount of votes during finals. You can give 80 votes. That's a lot of votes, Mick.
Right, that is a lot of votes. Yeah.
And
It's still not enough. I found them not enough. Because I would have liked to have given more, some of these players more, but I couldn't because I had to fit in other players.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. So I'm assuming, like me, you've given your full 80.
I have.
Yep, so have I. And I would have probably liked to have given 90 to 100 because these guys were just incredible. I think I gave 14 players votes, and there's one guy that I would like to apologise to, and that is Jack Crisp. So I think Jack Crisp played a good game.
He's not listening.
He played a good game, but there were a few times, like you said before, he's a little bit sloppy, missed a couple of simple goals, and
Oh, they weren't simple goals.
well,
but he should
kickable. Sorry, yeah,
kickable. But he should have nailed one.
He just didn't get close to them. And when there were so many good performers, and I'm already trying to cut down votes to fit them all in, Crispy was the one to fall out. So I'll start with these guys who I gave 4 players 2 votes. So I just had to scrape in a couple of votes to show them respect. Lockie Schultz, he had the 3-goal assist. Harry Perryman, would have loved to have given him more. He was probably the 5th best defender for us, but still got votes for me. He had the 14 disposals, 5 marks, and 6 intercept possessions. Beau McCreary, he was a funny one. 14 disposals, 4 tackles, 4 clearances. I felt like he played a lot better than that. When we were up and going in that third quarter, he was winning. Well, I felt like he was involved in a lot of those clearances, getting us inside 50 and helping set up a lot of those goals. So he was good. And Josh Dacos is the other one. 24 disposals, 10 contested possessions, like I said before, and 473 metres gained. A good game from Josh, but I understand why you also didn't give him votes. He would have been touch and go for you though, wouldn't he? Or maybe not.
Yeah.
You've
No,
always-
he was okay. He didn't really, didn't come into my mind too much.
You've always hated Josh Dacos.
Only his guts.
Okay, so then the next 3 guys, I gave them 6 votes. One of them being Ned Long, 23 disposals, team high 13 contested possessions, game high 9 tackles, 19 pressure acts, 5 clearances, 5 score involvements, and 2-goal assist. Steele Sidebottom, 15 disposals, 363 metres gained, a goal assist, and 3 goals of his own. And Pendles, he had the 23 disposals, 5 tackles, and 5 score involvements. I then gave 4 players 7 votes. Braden Maynard, 20 disposals, 8 marks, 7 intercept possessions, a game high 554 metres gained. Billy Frampton, 13 disposals, 10 intercept possessions, and a game high 11 spoils. Isaac Quainer, 16 disposals, 6 marks, 6 intercept possessions, 381 metres gained, and 5 score involvements. And Jordan DeGoey, an equal game high, 26 disposals, 7 tackles, an equal game high, 6 clearances, 5 score involvements, a goal assist, and a goal of his own. Then I gave 8 votes to Jamie Elliott. He had the 13 disposals, 7 marks, a goal assist, and 4 goals won. I then gave 2 players the best on ground, 9 votes. That's Nick Dacos for his 24 disposals, 7 tackles, a team high 20 pressure acts, a game high 7 inside 50s, 435 metres gained, a game high 8 score involvements, a goal assist, and a goal of his own. And of course, Darcy Moore. He had the 13 disposals. All 13 of those possessions were intercept possessions, which was a game high. He had a game high 10 marks, 9 of them intercepts, which is the most in finals history from anyone, and 333 metres gained. Really, it probably should have been a 10 voter, but I took one off for that early mistake. So that's harsh, but still, I'll finish with summing up the long leaderboard where it's 14 players. Darcy Moore, 9, Nick Dacos, 9, Elliott, 8, DeGoey, 7, Quainer, 7, Frampton, 7, Maynard, 7, Pendlebury, 6, Sidebottom, 6, Long, 6, Josh Dacos, 2, McCreary, 2, Perryman 2, Schultz 2, and apologies to Jack Crisp. Oh, God, I'm exhausted. That was a lot to get through.
So you went for your full 80 with 14 players. I went for my full 80 with 13. The only difference, I had 13 of your 14. The one I didn't have was Josh Dacos.
Yeah.
So identical.
Okay.
Okay, so Nick Dacos 9, Moore 9, Long 7, and then I've got the following at 6. DeGoey, Maynard, Frampton, Sidebottom, Pendlebury, Quaynor, Elliott, McCreary. You then had Perryman at 4. I just assumed he should be. I didn't see him play, so I just gave him 4 votes. Bit of a guess. Schultz 3, So, Schultz defensively didn't have a lot of tackles, but yeah, he just puts in.
3-goal assist.
Yeah.
That's good.
Dacos 9. That's Nick Dacos. Moore 9. Long 7. The following 6. DeGoey, Maynard, Frampton, Sidebottom, Pendlebury, Quaynor, Elliott, McCreary. 4 to Perryman. 3 to Schultz. That's it.
That's probably the best you've done, Mick. Normally you make huge errors. That was good.
Because it's similar to yours. Is that why I've done well?
You're coming into
Maybe I've done poorly because I've done similar to yours.
coming into your own in finals time.
Yes.
All right, now before we get to who am I? How am I going to put this? This could be a weak one that I'm about to give you.
A what? You
A weak who am I reckon.
Oh, Dermot didn't prepare again, which normally means that the clues are crap and give me no chance.
Hear me out. So people that listen to the panel show would know that I said that we would be back on Sunday afternoon. Well, we both happened to have the Friday off. Well, Mick did half a day and I had the Friday off. It was unexpected, but we thought, well, seeing as though we've both got nothing to do, we may as well do it on the Friday. So I was preparing for my Who Am I for a Sunday. So this morning I woke up and I had to quickly put something together. And I apologise in
So
advance.
what we do, it's not good enough. So what we should do, just forget about it and give me the average number of votes that people get. 3. So I'll just give me 3.
Nope. It's time for Who Am I?
Right. So do we know the leaderboard at the moment? Do we know that?
I'll work that out later.
No, because it influences my strategy. Whether I go early or not. I might have to go.
I'm early 20s and you're sort of, I don't know, 18-ish.
So I might have to go early.
Well, you've known this for some time, but you're a bit behind.
And we've got at least 1 week to go, the prelim.
Well, we might be back next week as well. I reckon we'll do a little episode next week.
Okay, rightio. Right.
And we've got the trade episodes as well.
Yeah,
Got a few.
Okay.
Got a few.
Okay.
All right.
Start off.
Who am I for 5 points? I apologise in advance.
Oh, jeez. Just go to 4 points.
For 5 points. I was drafted to the Pies at pick 53 in the 1994 National Draft as a midfielder from Ballarat.
1994 midfielder from Ballarat, pick 53.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go back 31 years to pick 53 from Ballarat. Okay, right.
I had to even this. There wasn't a lot of information on this guy, so I had to it was hard to get 5 clues.
I'm actually thinking of a guy.
Oh my god, really?
No, it's not good. I can't remember. Bachelor or something like that. Bachelor. He had curly blonde hair, bit of a surfer look. He was about that time. He's just popped into my head. Bachelor. But I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna go for him. I'm sure his name was Bachelor. Yeah, or something like that. Okay, rightio. 4 points.
For 4 points, I would only play 12 games in my.
Oh,
What?
12 games.
Can you wait till I finish?
Sorry, go. Yeah, better.
I would only play 12 games in my first 2 seasons in 95 and 96 before being traded to a rival club alongside another Pies player in a high-profile trade.
So, 94. He made a debut in 95, 96.
Yep.
We got a high-profile trade at the end of 97. He was one of 2 players, was he?
Mm-hmm. Him and another Collingwood player.
Yeah.
Went to this rival club.
Went to a rival club. Who were we getting at the start of 97? I'm just trying to think of any trade, the big trade at the time. Who came to Collingwood? Whoever it was didn't work because the back end of the 90s wasn't crash hot. This is the Collingwood's big signing. It used to be very common back in the day. It comes to nothing. Nah, I can't think. I can't think of who the big signings were.
Are we moving on?
Yes.
For 3 points, my second club would be Sydney, where I'd play a further 41 games for them between 97 and 98, finishing top 10 in their best and fairest in my last season there.
97 and 98. He was at the Swans.
Mm-hmm.
It's not helping that I'm hearing your cat's meow in my headphones. I'm thinking.
Sorry,
I've got a guy in mind.
I'm losing it.
I'm thinking Mark Orchard.
Mhm.
I'm thinking Mark Orchard. Is that Mark Orchard the guy I'm thinking of?
Well, you're obviously thinking of him.
No, but is that his name? The guy I'm thinking of, he was at I might just pull out a 3-pointer because he went to the Swans in about that time. The guy I'm thinking of, let me articulate. The guy I'm thinking of went to the Swans at about this time, and he was involved in a multiple trade. Did Lucuria come across about that time? Was it the Lucuria trade? Was it the Lucuria trade? And Mark Orchard was involved in that trade. Well, the guy I'm thinking of was involved in that trade. Was his name Mark? I'm sure his name was Mark Orchard.
There was, not to complicate things, there was two players that were.
Yeah. You're going to tell me it's the other one.
Well,
you're going to end up being.
It might be neither. It might be one of them. It might be the right one. But they're your three options.
But what was it, the Lucuria trade?
I'm not saying anything.
I can't afford. I could just slip that by it. Was he from Ballarat? I don't know. I think he was Victorian. I might just take a bit of a risk and go Mark Orchard. I'm locking in Mark Orchard with not a lot of confidence. Okay.
I don't even know. I don't even know who that is.
Right, so I'm wrong.
All right. Oh, for 2 points.
You don't tell me you don't even know. At least you draw it out a bit.
For 2 points, I'd request a trade back to Collingwood for the 1999 season and would play another 33 games for the club until the end of 2000, where I would be delisted after 86 career games, 45 of those in the black and white.
I'm not really even thinking now. I'm taking my thinking cap off.
For 1 point,
it's not him though, because he didn't come back.
the high-profile trade I was involved in saw both myself and Ben Wilson. Do you remember?
I vaguely remember.
Moved to Sydney for Anthony Rocker.
Oh, it was the Anthony Rocker trade.
I am
That's right.
Mark Orchard.
Oh, beauty! You beauty! That was a good one. Brilliant. Encyclopedic mind.
So he did come back. You got that one.
Did he? Did he come back? Did he?
He came back and played 33 games.
Mark Orchard, right? Yes. I remember he went to Sydney about that time. I thought it was Lucuria. Must have been a couple of years later, was he? A few years later. Of course, Rocker did come in 97 because he ran out for the grand final with Sydney.
Yes,
it was an emergency in the grand final of 96.
Yeah. You know what helped you get that Mark Orchard thing?
Encyclopedic mind. Oh, the West Coast Sox.
The West Coast. They never let you down.
If you're joining us late, what happened with the West Coast Sox is that
why would people be joining us late? Why would they just skip to the end of the show?
I don't know how this medium works. Don't you just turn on the telly and we're there? No, it depends what channel you're on. Yeah, that's a good one. I've closed the gap. That's a bit. That's significant. 3 points is significant.
I'm gonna have to work out exactly what the scores are now. I think.
Oh, I was hoping you'd have an exact.
I'm a busy man, Michael. I'm a busy man.
Don't stuff up the scoring system.
Before we wrap this up, just a bit of an insight over what's going to happen in the next few weeks with our show. So the panel show won't be back next week. It'll be the week after. So the Tuesday
Why
after.
do I hear this when the viewers hear? Why don't you tell me these things in advance?
You-
I thought we had one next week.
You did notice. Everybody
Oh,
knows.
okay. Sorry.
I said in the last show that we'll only be with the panel show will be weekly as long as Collingwood are playing that weekend.
Okay, right. Okay.
So it's going to be in the lead up to the prelim.
Yes.
We'll be joined again by Serge, Paddy, and the Grub Man.
Grub man, if he's hopefully sobered up a bit,
He may have.
I reckon
He may not have.
there's gonna
Who
be
knows?
Yeah.
I got some interesting videos. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're appropriate to post, but
Just not slap his face a couple of times, I think. Bring to his senses.
so that'll be happening in a couple of weeks. I reckon
Groggy stupor.
we'll have another regular show before then. I'm not 100% sure. It might just be a little one. We can just talk about, by that point, like I said before, we'll know more about the guys that could potentially play. We'll know who our opponent is for the prelims. So it is worth coming back, even if
I
it's...
think that was the best get of all the Who Am I's this year. That was the most impressive. Mark Orchard. Keep on going.
I've had people say that you're annoying because of what you just did then. You just talk over the top of me when I'm saying stuff.
No, but I came to mind, so I wanted to say it before I forgot.
Um,
And really, what you were saying wasn't overly interesting. What might be happening? We might do this and we might do that.
I expect we'll be back for another regular show before that panel show. All right, so that's all.
Who says I'm annoying?
I've actually had feedback. And
Well, what's their names? Who are they?
no, there's no names.
You haven't been talking about me with the other panel members again, have you?
No, not the panel members. The panel members like you. The panel members want you in the chat, Nick.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. Actually, no, I was about to say something, but that's a personal message that I got from one of our panel members about you. It was a good thing. It was a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'll mute it. There we go. I've just muted and told Nick what.
I'm a little bit choked up myself with emotion after hearing that testimonial from our other panel member. I appreciate that, and the panel member's name will be left anonymous. But yes, just know I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, oh, hold on. Oscar sent me a photo. Another panel member.
Oh, yes.
Don't worry, it's not Collingwood related. It's Tassie Devils related.
Oh, really?
They're confirmed to be in the VFL next season.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Thanks, Oscar. I was hoping we could have some breaking news right at the end.
Okay. Well,
Right. Is there anything you want to mention before we wrap this up? We're prelim bound.
no, I don't think so.
You don't want to talk about your new Twitter account?
Do I have a new Twitter account?
Well, what's that?
That guy. I ended up blocking him this morning because he just commented again using my profile picture. There's this guy who's stolen my profile picture, and because I went to my Twitter account to have a look at some responses, and I thought, why am I there? Why is my profile picture underneath responses? I can't have responded to my own. And then I realised it wasn't me. It was this guy. And
Who's trolling you?
He's not actually saying to me. He's not really abusing me at all. He's just in my head. He's messing with my mind. And he did.
You've made it when people are doing that.
Yeah. So.
Oh God, that was funny. I wanted to read out a few things that he said, but I can't actually find it. But
Yeah.
all right, but we're gonna wrap it up. Unless were you about to say something?
No. I've forgotten. It wasn't even any note, but yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. We are now 2 wins away from our 17th flag. Go Pies.